Hello guys, welcome to SIT 432 presentation on privacy concern for IoT hotel devices. This is Gautam Bedi. So today I will be doing this presentation with you guys. So let's get started. What is an IoT? Internet of Things. IoT is a giant network of connected things which connects everyday objects and devices to one another and to cloud hosted services. So IoT is nothing like it's not really hard concept to understand. It's just a like giant network of connected devices. So that's actually called an IoT. What is an IoT device? Any device that is connected to internet and has the ability to sense, think, and act accordingly to it is referred to as an IoT device. Or IoT devices can be described as any device with sensors which are able to transmit their data over the internet or other networks are described as an IoT device. So IoT devices is nothing hard things to understand. It's just like a device which with sensors and has the ability to send that data to the internet is referred to as an IoT devices. In 2018, there were nearly 22 billion IoT devices present in the whole world. It is expected that at the end of 2030, there will be nearly 50 billion IoT devices in the world. These IoT devices generate large amount of data which might contain some sensitive information such as users' current location, information regarding heating and lighting system in smart homes, individual personal health, and etc. So now let's look at some of the examples of IoT devices. So as we discussed earlier, like it is just like a device with sensors and which has the ability to send their data to the internet is referred to as an IoT device. So here are some of the examples of IoT devices such as smart homes. So mobile phones, smart lights, Amazon Alexa, all comes under IoT devices. I have also entered some of the images as well. As we can see, I have entered the image of like a smart house. Here we can see the image of Amazon Alexa, and over there we can just see some of bunch of mobile phones. So these all comes under the examples of IoT devices. IoT devices in hospitality industry. Due to the expansion of IoT devices, it is being used in various kinds of industries. In hospitality industry, smart rooms, cameras, microphones, smart keys, etc. are being used to improve the customer's experience. For example, an internet locks allow a visitor to sign in without the assistance of any help from reception. The perspective and personalized apps are critical components of IoT-based services that need the handling of personal information. In hospitality industry, they try to collect their customers' data so that they can provide them better recommendation based upon the collected data. So as we discussed in this slide, like these like what are the IoT devices that is being used in hospitality industry. So we discussed about the smart rooms, cameras, microphones, smart keys. So I have in the example as we discussed about the internet lock. So these kind of devices actually help the hospitality industry to provide a good experience to the customers, because if they enter the hotel, they don't actually have to go to reception. They can just go away straight up. They can just straight away get an access to their rooms. So these are like the IoT devices used in the hospitality industry. So now let's look at some of the examples of IoT devices in hospitality industries. Over here we can see smart room, internet lock, smart cameras and microphone, tracking devices, and there are many other kinds of devices that is being used in hospitality industries. Advantages of IoT devices in hospitality industry. With the help of internet locks, customers are able to get access of the rooms without the need of physical key. Smart lighting systems help customers to manage the room's lighting according to their preferences. IoT devices collect data of the customers, which can be used to provide suitable recommendations such as food, extra services provided by the hotels, etc. It helped hospitality business owners to increase customer loyalty by understanding their habits and behavior based upon the collected data from the IoT device. So these are some of the advantages that we have discussed in this slide about the IoT devices in hospitality industry. So now let's discuss about security threats. What do you mean by security threats on IoT devices? Security threats can be described as a way by which hackers are able to exploit any security weakness in the system and are able to steal user information, bank passwords, etc. for their personal benefits. Security threats can be divided into two categories: physical threat and cyber threats. Types of security threats. So in this slide, I have made a diagram actually to highlight what are the different types of security threats and what are the main types of attack that falls under them. So over here, as we can see, we are having like types of hacking attacks, and it is divided into two categories: cyber and physical. Under cyber, we have different kinds of attacks such as jamming, Sybil attack, hole attack, spoofing, DOS, man in the middle, malicious input, selective forwarding, and data tampering. So these are some of the attacks that comes under cyber threats. In physical threats, we have two attacks that come under this, which are like traffic analysis and eavesdropping. Ransomware attack. Ransomwares can be a nightmare for hospitality companies when they interrupt the normal activities of the enterprise, forcing the owners to pay the sum demanded by the hackers because the damage may be worse in terms of money and prestige. In recent years, this has been a big challenge for hotels. For example, in case of development tools Sea Hotel in Austria, where the locking mechanism was frozen by ransomware, the attack infected the computer system and stopped workers from programming keycards, preventing customers from entering their rooms. To the end of the attack, the hotel had to pay $1,800 in Bitcoin. So we can just understand like how much dangerous these kinds of attacks are. If a hacker is able to exploit any kinds of weakness in an IoT device, then they can actually ask so much big amount of money from hotel owners in hospitality industry. Denial of service attack. IoT computers have been targeted by hackers for use as bots in DDoS attack, such as the Mirai botnet, which abused IoT cameras. Hackers took advantage of the fact that most users do not change their default username and password. As a result, it is important to create qualified password, as this is one of the most popular weak points abused by the attackers. Since there are so many gadgets hosted in the hospitality industry, it has become a favorite target for these type of attack after financial threats have skyrocketed in this industry. So basically, in denial of service attack, the attacker tries to put down the server so that the users can't actually use the services. So in these kinds of attack, they send so much traffic to a certain website or a specific service that server can't handle these many requests. So at some point, the server will just shut down or crash. So in this way, users are unable to use the service. So they actually try to create more and more bots in order to perform a powerful DDoS attack, because the more computers you have, the powerful will be the attack. So the main idea behind this is they actually try to infect more and more IoT devices, in order to create a big network, and then they use those computers to actually send large amount of network traffic to a specific website, and they can actually put down any services they want for as long as they want. Physical attack. Physical assaults are easier to carry out in hospitality settings when visitors have physical access to computers, such as those in hotels' rooms. Such attack styles that can be persuaded more easily with physical access to computers are severe tampering, sequence number injection, and code injection. The attacker can seize the computer, collect cryptographic keys, change the programs, or substitute it with a malicious ones. As a result, the device should be packed with tamper-resistant packing. In some cases, criminals pretend to be a visitor by plugging their own laptop into unsecured IoT computer in hotel lobbies in order to break into scheme. Even if the device is genuine, they can carry malicious code. So the main problem with IoT devices is that they are actually very easy to access in a physical world, because devices such as cameras, microphones, they are usually attacker can easily access them, and if they are easily accessible, then they can actually perform these kind of hacking attacks on them. Security issues with IoT devices in hospitality industry. IoT devices don't have much computational power, due to which it is really hard to implement a strong security mechanism on them. Data encryption and digital authentication is hard to implement on IoT devices, as they have very limited computational power and memory. IoT devices can be accessed physically in a whole setting, and it can be destroyed or invaded by leveraging classified proximity. Guests of the hotel may write application for linked devices using IoT platforms such as Nexus by Eager. In this case of security breach, programming is instantly sent to device attacking door logs, light flashing, and other features. So, so as we just discussed in this slide, that these are some of the things that can be either like some of the security issues that actually exist in hospitality industry. Let's look at some of the past examples on IoT devices in hospitality industry. Sea Hotel, located in Austria, became a victim of WannaCry ransomware attack. In this attack, hackers were able to freeze the deadlock system used in that hotel, due to which staff members and customers were unable to enter in the room. Hotel facility had to pay $1,800 in order to get access to the room again to the hackers. So we can just understand like how much these attacks are harmful to these kind of IoT devices, because if the hacker is able to exploit any of these IoT devices, then they are actually able to get so much money from the hospitality industry. So it is really important that we need to make sure that the IoT devices are secure, because if one of the IoT devices became victim to these kind of attacks, then all of the IoT devices that falls under this category will be the victim of this attack as well. Privacy concern in hospitality industry. If the Internet of Things expand, IoT devices including cameras and microphones get thinner and fit in with their surroundings, making it more difficult to detect when devices are present. This may cause some of wonder if more than 1 out of every 10 hotel guests has been subject to surveillance cameras. There are a large number of different IoT devices that are used in hotels, due to which it is more difficult to define the kind of information that would be obtained from customers. Hospitality industry must be open on how the collected data will be used and how long they will kept in the archive. Due to large amount of hacking attacks on these IoT devices, it is a huge risk that users' personal information might get compromised. Hospitality industry uses large amount of IoT devices, and some IoT devices does not have a really good UI, due to which their username and password are set as a default, which increases the chances of attack, as it is really easy to attack such kind of IoT devices. So in this slide, we discussed some of the privacy concerns that are related to hospitality industry. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a better day. Thank you. See ya for now. Bye.